welcome to the evening news for today, Tuesday, January 11, 2022. I'm Jemima Holmes. Thank you for tuning in. Now let's take a look at some of the lead stories tonight. President Ali assures of integrity in selecting persons to manage oil funds. Old DEMERARA bridge to be repurposed once new bridge in place. Estonia, Slovenia among new rice markets for Guyana last year. Majority of persons suffering from long COVID were infected with Delta variant, and motion passed to fire city engineer COLVERN venture. Now for the news in detail. President Dr. Irfan Ali today revealed that he is currently examining names of individuals to be appointed on the 5-member board of directors to manage the Natural Resource Fund. In our lead story tonight, Gerald Bryan reports that the head of state has assured that the process of selection will be underpinned by the principle of integrity. Here's more.
On Tuesday, President Dr. Irfan Ali was present during the handing over of photovoltaic solar panel systems to the CARICOM Secretariat. While there, he was asked about the Natural Resources Fund, the management of which has to be overseen by a board of directors named by the President. According to President Ali, he has already started examining names of possible candidates to be appointed on the board as per the NRF Act recently signed into law.
That the selection of the board will be urgent and you'll be surprised. But definitely, I have been examining names.
He also assured that he takes the responsibility of naming a board that reflects Guyana seriously.
I'm the president. I'm entrusted with a responsibility. I was elected by the people of this country. Are you aware of that? And if I was elected by the people of this country, I was elected based on a program, on a manifesto that I have to implement, because that's a social contract between myself and the people. And I think that the people have entrusted me with responsibility, and I intend to execute that responsibility with great honor, dignity, and integrity. And you will see that in the board.
The NRF Act, signed into law last year, caters for the establishment of a 3 to 5 member board of directors to manage the country's oil revenues. The head of state will also have to appoint a chairperson from that group. The director is to be selected from persons who have wide experience and ability in legal, financial, business, or administrative matters. Among the safeguards surrounding the withdrawal of funds is the need for parliamentary approval before any funds can be withdrawn. Gerald Bryan, The Evening News.
The old DEMERARA Harbor Bridge is expected to be repurposed and installed in various locations around the country once the new 4-lane high-fixed span DEMERARA River Bridge being built under the current People's Progressive Party government is commissioned. Here is Gerald Bryan again with the details.
This was revealed by Public Works Minister Juan Edghill, who on Monday hosted a press conference with various agency heads who fall under his remit. While Edghill noted that a definite decision has not been taken on how to use the old bridge, he stressed that the bridge would not go to waste.
But there are a lot of places where sections of the bridge can be used. It could be used at the Kokwani crossing. It could be used in several parts of the hinterland. Maybe some of it could be used at Kurupukari, but we are looking at more permanent infrastructure for the Linden to Letem Road. So we might be looking at a more permanent concrete structure across the Kurupukari. But maybe it could link Leg 1 and Wakenham. Those are some of the other discussions that have been made. My predecessor and Minister Robeson Ben have a number of ideas that he has shared with me. But I can tell you, it wouldn't be all iron pushed in a corner.
In the meantime, government is currently rehabilitating parts of the DEMERARA Harbor Bridge, repairs that cost approximately $1.2 billion. According to General Manager of the DEMERARA Harbor Bridge, Wayne Watson, the completion date for these repairs have been pushed back to April 2022.
The total costs for rehabilitation of span 9 and 10 and replacement of span 9 is approximately $1.2 billion. Because, as Minister indicated earlier, the consideration for users of the bridge, it was scheduled to finish the project on December 2021, but because of consideration for users, we are now projecting somewhere between April. As Minister indicated, in order to replace Span 9, the rehabilitation work of both Span 9 and 10 must be completed, which will require some closures of the bridge. To be exact, the total closures to do the rehabilitation work is about 16 6-hour closures. To date, we have only done 5.
The construction of the new DEMERARA River Bridge is slated to start in the fourth quarter of 2021 and is being done by China's State Construction Engineering Limited. The project is expected to be finished within 2 years. The bridge will land at Back Nandi Park, East Bank Demerara, and at Lagrange, West Bank Demerara. Jarrell Bryan, The Evening News.
The government, through the Public Works Ministry, is keeping a close eye on delinquent contractors to ensure they do not take advantage of the state, even without an existing legislative framework, to blacklist contractors. Amar Prasad has the details.
Public Works Minister Juan Edgehill on Monday during a press conference explained that legislation to ensure contractors who default on projects can be blacklisted was being looked at by the Finance Ministry through the National Procurement and Tender Administration Board. While there is no legislation in place, the minister said that they are keeping a close eye on shoddy contractors.
At the ministry, when it comes to the award of contracts, we have a responsibility to ensure that when we are engaging a contractor, is someone who has the reputation and who could get the job done. So while there is no legislation, we are keeping a very clear eye out on non-performing contractors, contractors who lack the capability or who do shoddy work, because we want to ensure that our record is clear. And over the year that we have been there at the ministry, I'm proud to report to you, we haven't had to battle in that environment because we've been very, very keen, and I could say that is happening across sectors.
Under a former Partnership for National Unity Alliance for Change government, the ministry has had a rocky time implementing projects. 2 examples of this are the Leg 1 and Bartik Stellings. Last year, the government had terminated S. Maharaj Contracting Services' $413 million contract to repair the deplorable Leg 1 Stelling on the grounds of project delays. Despite the company being granted several extensions, the project, which was supposed to be completed by June 18, 2019, had still not been completed. According to project manager Jermaine Braffett, works on the Leg 1 Stelling are still progressing.
Overall, percentage progress about 55. There are some major aspects of the expanded portion of the Stelling that we call the northern section, which we are projecting will be completed by at latest May of this year. It's at 160 feet by 130 feet reinforced concrete Stelling deck. The foundation works were the major part of the works that were undertaken in 2021. The contractor has installed 228 pre-stressed concrete piles, of which he has installed fully about 180. And so once that aspect of the work is completed, we will progress to casting the deck, and of course the ancillary structures that will be constructed on the deck will follow that. So we're projecting that substantial completion of the project will be achieved at latest May of this year.
Meanwhile, Minister Edgehill explained that a policy decision is to be made concerning works at the Bartik Stelling, which was supposed to be completed last year by contractor Courtney Penn Contracting Services.
There are some policy decisions that have to be made on Bartik. There was a contract that was awarded before we got there. There are problems with the implementation of the contract and the contractor. We have engaged the contractor at the highest level, and he had committed to pursuing getting the work done. So when I say there's a policy direction, we have to come to a position of saying whether we continue to wait on the contractor or we terminate and put a new contract in place. But I would like to assure the people of Bartik, in 2022, movement on the Barticus stelling will be done. It is something that is part of our budget 2022 proposals, and we expect between 2022-2023, the entire Barticus stelling should be completed. Whether it is done by the old contractor or we go to a new contractor, but we are moving towards getting it completed.
For the evening news, Amar Prasad.
Guyana's agriculture sector continues to make its mark on the international food market, with the British Virgin Islands and European nations of Estonia and Slovenia being among the newest rice export destinations in 2021. Luanda McAllister tells us more.
Agriculture Minister Zulfikar Mustafa has said he is optimistic that the demand of Guyana's rice will heighten in 2022 as government intends to increase investments in the sector. For last year, he noted that the country has increased its market to 3 countries, the British Virgin Islands, Estonia and Slovenia. As a result, Guyana is now exporting rice to some 42 countries worldwide. Notwithstanding the massive impact of COVID-19 and the devastating May-June flood in 2021, the nation's rice industry alone raked in $42.2 billion after exporting approximately 434,535 tons of rice. Additionally, the agricultural sector was also able to contribute some $2.6 billion to Guyana's gross domestic product in 2021 from the exportation of non-traditional crops. It is one of the many visions of President Dr. Irfan Ali to make the necessary investments so farmers here could create and increase the level of production and profitability. The government also wants to reduce the food import bill. Minister Mustafa said more developments could have taken place last year if the country-wide flooding did not occur. Due to the floods, government provided significant assistance to help affected citizens. Approximately $7.8 billion was distributed to some 50,000 flood-affected farmers across the country. For the evening news, Lawanda McAllister.
Coming up, President Ali holds important talks with Brazilian President, Commonwealth SG, and the Joint Services private sector to join in massive cleanup of Georgetown this weekend. Do stay with us. More news ahead.
Planning a cleanup? We can help. Sevon's Waste Management skip bins can be provided for home renovation projects, yard cleanups, or construction sites. It's simple. Step 1, just pick up the phone and give us a call. Step 2, we deliver the skip bin size of your choice. Step 3, load the skip with all of your junk. And finally, step 4, we take it all away. It's that simple. Bins are also available in various sizes, so there's no job that's too big or too small. Call Sevon's Waste Management today at 218-1455 or 218-11.
Did you know that when you leave your property unoccupied and unmanaged, it deteriorates much faster than you can imagine? Then before you know it, much of your hard-earned investment is wasted. At Hand in Hand Trust Corporation, property management is our business. Whether you travel for long periods, live overseas, or have several properties that require managing, let us at Hand in Hand Trust Corporation take care of this for you. Your property is safe with us. Hand in Hand Trust Corporation Incorporated, a member of the Hand in Hand Group of Companies.
Visit Gaffur's Tiles and Sanitary Ware Department for stunning designs and the best in wall and floor tiles for your kitchen, bathroom, outdoors, steps, living room, and more. The tile department also provides products to clean, polish, and protect your tiles. Tile trims to give your tile area a complete look. Tint sets for both porcelain and ceramic tiles, along with a variety of grout colors. Not forgetting tile paste to lay tiles on wood and concrete. Of products combine the ideal blend of style and innovation and meet the needs of every customer. We stock a vast variety of kitchen sinks, basins and faucets, toilets in a variety of colors and designs, along with every accessory to accentuate. Stylish double-mirrored bathroom cabinets, clear and frosted bathroom doors and enclosures, Remember, for superior customer services, superior quality and competitive prices, it's Gaffurs, the name you can trust.
Will you be there when we come to play? Will you be there to see our stars shine? Will you be there 24th and 6th? Yeah, do not miss it, no.
The ICC Under-19 Men's Cricket World Cup is coming to the West Indies. Be there January 14th to February 5th. Get your free ticket at www.u19cwc.com/tickets.
Will you be there?
Welcome back. You're watching the evening news. Guyana has recorded 3 more COVID-19 deaths, taking the country's overall toll to 1073. The latest fatalities are all men aged 71, 77, and 81. 2 of them were unvaccinated, while the vaccination status of the 77-year-old is unknown. Meanwhile, the country has also seen a whopping 665 new cases recorded within the last 24 hours. This means that a total of 46,005 COVID cases have been detected in the country since March 2020. There are 13 persons in the ICU, 89 in institutional isolation, 6,538 in home isolation, and 9 in institutional quarantine. Recovery stand at 38,292. Most of the patients in Guyana who were suffering from long COVID were infected with the Delta variant, according to Health Minister Dr. Frank Anthony, who noted that these individuals are being constantly monitored by a special task force. Amar Prasad reports.
Health Minister Dr. Frank Anthony, during his COVID-19 update today, noted that most persons who are experiencing long-term COVID were infected with the Delta variant. With the Omicron variant currently circulating in Guyana, he said authorities are monitoring to see how many persons have developed post-COVID symptoms from this strain of the virus.
Long COVID, we have a task force, meaning persons from different specialities in medicine coming together to work to identify these cases and also to work with those patients. Persons who were infected with the Delta variant seem to have a wide array of symptoms because Delta affected many organs, and persons who would have had those types of infections would continue even after discharge with getting some of these symptoms. So for example, some people complain that they're having constant headaches, they're having what is called brain fog, meaning sometimes in the midst of a conversation they forget what they were talking about and things like that. But a lot of these things have been associated more with Delta. Because Omicron is so new, we're not sure what the outcome might be in terms of long COVID. And it has just been from the 24th of November when the first cases were talked about to now. That's a relatively short period of time. The Delta variant was more severe because it caused a lot of these types of infection. Omicron variant is much different, and what we have noticed so far is that persons, while it can infect a lot of people and even reinfect those persons who would have been infected in the past with other variants, can reinfect them. But the good news really is that we are not seeing a lot of the persons who are infected getting severe form of the infection.
Meanwhile, the minister weighed in on a study by the U.S. Center for Disease Control, CDC, which showed that children 18 years and under, while or after being infected by COVID, have developed diabetes.
One of the things that we knew with COVID is that even if you were predisposed to diabetes, you had risk factors for diabetes, then in some instances, after an infection, people actually then presented with diabetes. Because again, COVID can affect many systems in your body, And one of the systems in this case that it affected is the endocrine system. So there wasn't any big surprise there in terms of how it would work. But we have seen people who were at risk for COVID, for diabetes, after the infection and after they got COVID, and they got better from COVID, then remained with diabetes. So that's something that we have seen in some patients. And there are other conditions too, where people were at risk, but after the infection that they got these different diseases.
So far, 414,932 or 80.9% of adults have received the first dose of a COVID vaccine, while 301,058 or 58.7% have received the second dose of the COVID vaccines. For children 12 to 17, 31,203 or 42.8% have received the first dose of the Pfizer vaccines, while 22,141 or 34.4% have received both doses. A total number of 18,982 booster doses have been administered. For the Evening News, Amar Prasad.
President Dr. Irfan Ali, during separate events, held critical discussions with the President of Brazil, who is planning a visit to Guyana this month, and the General Secretary of the Commonwealth, who is currently leading a high-level delegation on a visit to the country. Find out more in this report.
President Dr. Irfan Ali on Monday told the President of Brazil, Jair Bolsonaro, that Guyana wants to have a very strong strategic partnership with its Portuguese-speaking neighbors. The two leaders, who communicated via teleconference, also discussed the agenda for the expected visit of President Bolsonaro to Georgetown later this month. President Ali listed several areas that are critical for both countries to move their relationship forward, including energy and food security, telecommunication, infrastructure, integration, and trade. He also pointed out that due to their geographical locations, the nations must take strong statements in linking their territories. As it relates to trade, currently there is an existing partial scope agreement that aims to foster bilateral trade flows by the exchange of tariff preferences between the two countries, cooperation on trade matters, and increased participation of the private sector. This, President Ali said, is currently under negotiation to be expanded since Guyana wants to increase its quota, especially as it relates to rice being exported to Brazil. Also on Monday, the Guyanese head of state and the senior members of his cabinet met with a team from the Commonwealth Secretariat, led by its Secretary General, Patricia Scotland, for bilateral talks. The meeting, which was held at the office of the President, also had in attendance Prime Minister Brigadier Mark Phillips, Finance Minister Dr. Ashni Singh, Parliamentary Affairs and Governance Minister Gail Teixeira, Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation Minister Hugh Todd, Public Works Minister Juan Edgell, and Tourism Industry and Commerce Minister Onij Walrand. The Commonwealth of Nations, generally known simply as the Commonwealth, is a political association of 54 member states, including Guyana, almost all of which are former territories of the British Empire. Reporting for the Evening News, Davina Samaru.
The Private Sector Commission is partnering with the government of Guyana to carry out a massive cleanup exercise of the city of Georgetown. The exercise is being done in collaboration with the Joint Services, the Ministry of Public Works, the National Drainage and Irrigation Authority, and the Solid Waste Management Unit. Luana McAllister tells us more.
According to a statement from the Private Sector Commission, the massive cleanup exercise will commence on January 15, 2022 and end the following day. It will include the desilting of main canals and clearing of garbage in several areas, including West Front Road, Cemetery Road, Sheriff, Hatfield, Durban, Chiffon, Church, and Sussex streets. Chairman of the Private Sector Commission, Mr. Paul Cheung, said the commission recognizes the importance of public-private partnership and is pleased to support the cleanup exercise so that Guyanese and tourists alike can transact their business in a cleaner and more comfortable environment. This came just after President Dr. Irfan Ali called for the private sector to lend its support to making this exercise a success. Only last week, the mayor of Georgetown, Ubraj Narayan, expressed that the garbage situation in the city is becoming a major challenge.
I believe that we have the resources not at the national level or the central government level, which the city of Georgetown and central government can work together to prevent this kind of illegal activity in our city.
As such, he said the mayor and city council is hoping to bring into effect anti-bylaws that will see higher penalties for persons caught littering.
The bylaw also stipulates very clearly on fines. On first offense, $10,000. Second offense, $20,000. Third offense, no less than $35,000, but not exceeding $500,000. So this bylaw is very important.
Reporting for the Evening News, Lawanda McAllister.
The Georgetown Mayor and City Council on Monday successfully passed a motion to have the services of City Engineer COLVERN Venture terminated with immediate effect. The motion, which was tabled in December 2021, came up for debate on Monday and was passed with support from all the APNU AFC councillors, while the PPPC councillors abstained from voting. Time and again, Georgetown Mayor Ubraj Narayan has accused Venture of failing to properly execute his duties, resulting in a bad image for City Hall. For his part, Venture has alleged that the MNCC has not been providing him with the resources needed to complete the works around the city. And now for a look at the bridge reports.
The DEMERARA Harbour Bridge will not be closed to vehicular traffic at 1 hour on Wednesday, January 12th, as scheduled by the management of the DEMERARA Harbour Bridge. Meanwhile, the Berries River Bridge is scheduled to be closed on Wednesday, January 12th at 1 hour for a period of 1.5 hours.
Questions arise over scheduling of India-West Indies series, and we take full responsibility, GFF says on COVID breaches at futsal final, as PM warns of sanctions. Details of these stories in the Sportcast, sponsored by MacCorp, coming up on the other side of the break.
Miners, welders, and contractors. Have broken parts caused you tremendous downtime? Do you need an extra heavy-duty, dependable welding machine that will get the toughest jobs done and can also double as a generator to power all of your tools? Well, your #1 industrial solutions provider Sylvies has you covered. We currently have in stock the Hobart Champion Elite Arc Welder and Generator. This capable electric start generator produces up to 11,000 watts of AC power to run tools, work lights, or backup power during an outage. It can simultaneously deliver 150 amps weld output and 8,000 watts of generator power and can run up to 14 hours on one 12-gallon tank of gas. This portable generator handles mild steel, stainless steel, and cast iron with a maximum thickness of ½ inch in a single pass. So what are you waiting for? If you can't make it to our 31 High and Hatfield Streets Georgetown location, we can deliver. Give us a call on 227-6226 or WhatsApp us on 623-7755 or visit our website sylviesonline.com. Sylvies Industrial Solution, proudly serving Guyana for over 4 decades. Massey is by your side as we continue the fight against the COVID-19 pandemic. In collaboration with OneCart, you can now get your groceries delivered or you can pick up curbside. Call, email, or WhatsApp your order to us. This service is available at both Providence and Turkine locations. Delivery and pickup between 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. The fee is based on location. Orders must be paid in cash and placed 24 hours in advance. Special conditions apply. Remember to always protect yourself and those around you by wearing your masks. Also, don't forget to wash your hands and maintain a distance of 6 feet at all times around persons. Massey Stores. Our family serving your family.
Looking to bring your dream home to reality or simply taking on a home improvement project? Then National Hardware Limited is where you should start. Let us put that touch to your home. Choose from over 1,000 Berger Paint original hues for any surface. We are known for our trusted brands such as Westinghouse, Philips, Satco, Rubbermaid, Pyrex, Gibson Home, and so much more. National Hardware Limited, your do-it-best store, located in downtown Georgetown and industrial site Rijnveld.
Get the right seal right now from Industrial Supply of Guyana, Inc., your immediate SKF sealing solutions. The SKF Seal Jet Machine is capable of building seals from 5mm to 600mm in diameter in under 5 minutes. With technical support readily available, you can get a customized seal to suit virtually any industrial application, like buffer, rod, wiper, and piston seals. SKF Seal Jet Machine, now at Industrial Supply of Guyana, Inc.
Welcome back to this evening's Sportcast, sponsored by MacCorp. Officials of the Board of Control for Cricket in India have said the planning for the West Indies tour